So there are other ways. What you can do is still use the command line. Okay, still use the command line, and this time using relative coordinates. So what do we mean by relative coordinates? So it's we don't need to know the precise coordinates of each point that where we want our corners to be. In this case, that we're drawing the rectangle. So it's just like adding to the coordinate of your original point. So let us make this clearer by drawing the same rectangle using these relative coordinates. Okay, so let's draw a line again. This time let's start with the ribbon. Okay, it says specify first point. The dynamic input here is still off. Okay, specify first point. Okay, so where do you want our first point to be? So we can set it anywhere. You can just click anywhere. Then if you click, let's say here. Okay, now we have our first point. Okay, for the second point, we need to have a length of 100, right? Okay, so what we need to do is type here in the command line at, okay, the symbol at, and then put 100. Okay, the length that you want from this particular point, from the first point. Okay, and then comma, what you need to enter next is the change in y. Okay, so basically 100 here is our change in x, and the second coordinate here is the change in y. So since we want this length to be horizontal, this side to be horizontal, right? So there is no change in y. So this should be 0. Okay, if we press enter, as you can see, we have here our line. Okay, so what if you want to draw a vertical one for the width? Okay, so what you do is type at again, and then 50, right? Change in x is 50. And now a comma. So, oh no, that's wrong. We don't have change in x here. We just have change in y, right? So change in y should be 50. Okay, and the change in x is 0. So if we press enter, we have here the width. Okay. So what if we want to go back? So relative to this last point, going to the left means negative, right? Going to the left. Okay, so at, we type at, and then negative 100, and then comma. So we don't need a change in y again. So because you want this to be horizontal, so 0. Okay, there you have it. Now if we want to go back to our original point, we can just click, or we can complete the same using the same method. We type at, then no change in x, right? And then negative 50. Okay, there you go. You press enter, and then let's move this. Just select your figure and then press M in the command line, then press enter, and then just select anywhere. You can move it. Let's put some dimensions on it to check if it is really 100. Okay, so it is. It has the same dimensions. Very nice. Okay. So you can also, there's also a third way using polar coordinates. Okay, the polar coordinates are the distance and the angle that you want the line to project in. Okay, let's do it again. Let's construct the same rectangle using polar coordinates. Okay, so let's type line here on the command line and press enter. We need to specify our first point, so we can just click anywhere. Okay, so how do we do the polar coordinates? So it's more or less the same with the relative coordinates, such in that we have to start with at, okay, the at, and then the distance, okay. So we need 100, right, for the length, 100. And then to specify the angle, we need to use the lesser than symbol, okay, the lesser than symbol. This is not an inequality, but this is just a symbol to specify that we are going to write an angle next, okay. So what angle is this? So we start, so the orientation is 0 here, and then as you rotate, of course, it goes to 360. So but you start with 0 here, okay. So we type in 0, okay. So we press enter, okay. Very cool. Now we need to go upwards, right? So we write at again, write at, and then the distance 50, we need 50, and then the lesser than symbol, and then the angle should be 90 degrees, okay. Okay, we have it right here. And then to continue, we have here at again, we need 100 again, right? And then the lesser than symbol. So what should be the angle? So the angle should be 180. Okay. And then to go back to our original point, at, and then 50, and then the angle should be 270, right? Okay, so press enter, and there you have it. The same rectangle with the same dimensions. Okay, so as you can see, you have a variety of options. So it depends on what the task it is that you need to do. Let's say, for example, here we need to draw this parallelogram. Okay, so which method do you think is easier? So you can draw this parallelogram using any of those methods, but you need to choose the easiest. Okay, so for me, I find that the easiest one will be the polar coordinates. Okay, let's try. Say we have the parallelogram. We need to construct this parallelogram of these dimensions. Okay, let's write L in the command line, align. Okay, then let's enter. Click the line option, then click anywhere for the first point. Then I'll construct it at 100 on either side, and then lesser than symbol for the angle 0. Okay, and then for this slanting, so this has an angle of 60 degrees from the horizontal. So okay, so I can just write at again, and then we have a distance of 50, and then the lesser than symbol, and then 60 degrees. Okay, 60. Okay, pretty nice. And then to go back, I just write at again, and then 100, then the angle. So I will write now 180, right? Okay. And so to go back to our original point, just type at, and then the distance. And what should be the angle now? The angle now should be 0, 90, 180, and then we need plus 60, right? Plus 60, 180 plus 60, that would be 240. Okay, so you write 240 here. Okay, okay, so very nice. Have it right here. Okay, so that is how you draw lines. In this case, we use it to draw some figures with the dynamic input off. So let us now proceed to drawing lines if this for the dynamic input is on. Okay, let's turn on the dynamic input. Okay, so let's say we want to draw this rectangle again using with the dynamic input on. So let's click on let's do the line command again. As you can see here, we have the coordinates, right? Then if I click anywhere here, as you can see, there are dimensions as I move my mouse around. Okay, so we have the angle, and the distance, which is pretty easy, right? But uh, it uh, it needs a little bit of skill in order to steady your hand and calibrate it to 0 degrees exactly, right? As you can see here, I'm straining to do that. Okay, so we are perfectly 0 degrees right now, horizontal. Okay, okay, but it's really still very hard. Okay, so what you can do with that is you can turn on this, go to the status bar and turn on ortho mode. So with ortho, the lines are automatically parallel to the axis. Okay, so if you want to draw horizontal or vertical lines, then it is easier if you draw using the ortho mode. Okay, so I use the ortho mode here, so I'll just input the 100 here, 100. Okay, now I have a line with 100. Then go upwards, move the cursor upwards, and then type 50. Okay, so and then here type 100 again, and then another, and I'll just click on the original point. Okay, so we have it here. It's the same thing. Okay, so what if we want to draw this particular parallelogram using this dynamic input? Okay, so if you want to do that, just click line and then specify here, and then you need to turn off this this ortho mode, and then you can specify the line again, 100. Let's turn on for this line 100. Okay, 100, and then turn off the ortho again. So let's say I need 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees here. Okay, 60 degrees, hold it there, and then you need to type 50. Okay, and then need to ortho again. Then you have here 100, 100, and then just click on the original point to go there. Okay, so press enter and we are done. See? Okay, so let's try to put some dimensions to see if what we really did is okay, so that's 50, and this is 100. Okay, so the same dimensions. We can also put some angular annotations here. So you have 60 degrees. Okay, so that's it for drawing lines. So there are many ways to draw lines. So it depends on what you need to perform, what you need to draw. Okay, so thank you. See you in the next video.